Hey guys, so I'm a bit grumpy today because a package of mine has gone missing, and it was a pair of vintage Reebok vests, originals, from I think the 90s, and I'm really, really annoyed. Somebody nicked my package, right? Anyway, I've been trying to get my money back, so I appealed to eBay where I bought them, and I paid some fee, which was some insurance fee, but because eBay didn't deliver them, it was delivered by Evri. I'm not covered. I can't believe that. I mean, that's just what do you mean I'm not covered? It's just ridiculous. How can I not be covered? I've paid for them. I've got a photograph that isn't my front door. Why am I not getting my money back? Anyway, I appealed the decision, and I ended up with a phone call from a South African. I mean, he may have even been in South Africa. I don't know how eBay works. Are eBay, where are they based? Ireland, is it, I think? But, you know, their phone department, who knows? Anyway, they do this ringback thing on eBay, which is quite good, actually. So you just put in your number, and they said they'd ring back in 3 minutes. Actually, almost as soon as I had put my number in, they rang, right? So nice enough chap, couldn't hear him to start with, which is why I think he might have been in South Africa. Anyway, he must have moved the phone or something, so I could hear him. And he said, unfortunately, there's nothing that eBay can do. I thought, no, that's crazy. Now, the other thing is, I hadn't paid on PayPal. I thought I had, but it looks like I just paid on a credit card, which I never normally do. So I'm not going to appeal to my credit card because it's not a fraud exactly, is it? Anyway, he said to me, this happens a lot. And what you should do is go to a company called Resolver, which amused me because obviously it's like revolver. And I'm in the mood to shoot someone today. So I thanked him kindly. And he said, do it, because even though it's not a huge amount of money, these people need to, be called out. And I thought, well, yeah, they do actually, because so many of us are missing packages. It's ridiculous. And he also suggested that I go to a pickup point. More about that in a minute. So anyway, I went into this Resolver. I had to take out a claim. It's full of adverts, really annoying. You have to keep scrolling past all the adverts. It's very tempting to click on one of the adverts because it makes it look as if the advert is going to carry on your claim, but it's not. So just make sure you scroll down. And I put in my claim, and you can claim for maltreatment or financial fraudulent or whatever you want to call it from anyone, as far as I can see. So it asks for the company. So I said Evri. But I noticed that the other companies were, like gas companies. And I'm wondering if absolutely any business, big business, maybe it has to be big business, I don't know, would be liable, to be pursued in this rather fantastic manner. Anyway, I was sort of doing that, and it's good because it asks you, it's got this row of smiley faces and miserable faces, and it says, how do you feel about this? And I was able to do a really angry face, a fuming angry face, which immediately made me feel better. My problem is no nearer to being solved, but it made me feel better. Sometimes it's just the venting, isn't it, guys? You just want to vent. So I did all that, and I thought, well, I probably won't really, I'm not expecting to get the refund. And I also did two things on eBay, which I've never done in my life. I gave negative feedback. So I gave this trader negative feedback because he should have come to me and said, I'm really sorry your package hasn't arrived. I will deal with Evri, because I can't deal with Evri because it wasn't my contract. It was his contract as the delivery, the guy, the person who has a contract with Evri, not me as the receiver. Do you see what I mean? So although I'm putting in a claim via this Resolver, I can't put in a claim via eBay because this company, Evri, have said that they've delivered it. If I'd paid on PayPal, it would be a different matter. I could have sent my photograph and said, this is the car park. This is ridiculous that I have to pay for this. And PayPal, you're covered. So lesson learned, I'm going to pay for everything on PayPal now. Absolutely everything. And especially on eBay. And the other thing I've always done is I have an automatic set up where any money coming into my PayPal automatically goes to my bank. And I've stopped that so that I know it just makes things much easier to track and find. And, I've even got a PayPal like debit card. So that's quite good. You can think to yourself, right, I've got this little business, and it is little, I can assure you, very, very small by, it's not, you wouldn't call it even a medium business. It's a tiny little salvage business. That's what I've got. But if, with that card, with PayPal, anything that goes in, I can just keep on the card, and then I can make sure I spend it on the card so that I'm covered by insurance. Do you see what I mean? Now, the other day I bought on Shein, and it was advertised as such, a Vivienne Westwood card holder. Right. I thought it was a coin holder, but I'd obviously misread that, or I'd forgotten because it was quite a long time ago. It did take quite a long time to be delivered. So anyway, it arrived and it had been sent to Post Locker. So Post Locker is a place where you can have all your stuff delivered to, right? But I haven't figured out how to have stuff delivered to Post Locker if you put in an offer to eBay, because I put in offers all the time. I want a discount. And if you put in an offer, it just automatically goes to like the cheapest delivery that this company offers. So Yodel or Evri is usually the go-to. Well, I don't really want them, but anyway, there's nowhere to say that you want it delivered to a post locker, so I'll let you know about that another time. It's really confusing. Anyway, when you just buy something without waiting for an offer, you can choose to have it sent to, you can choose like Argos do them, Morrison's, which is where I went yesterday, and your local sort of newsagents, quite a few newsagents around town. So it's usually somewhere very, very close. Well, seeing as I'm used to going and getting the post from my mum's anyway, and that's usually a little jump in the car, I don't mind doing that. It's quite convenient for me. Anyway, this Vivienne Westwood card holder arrived in this post locker. So I just got an email. Or no, I got a message on my phone, actually. It was a phone message. I mean, the thing I've noticed about all this stuff, you need your phone on you all the time. Just, you couldn't keep track of your orders or pick things up. Or, when I go to post, I show this QR code to a little machine and it prints off my delivery label. I mean, it's all very magic, but it does mean you need your phone. So gone are the days of sort of writing out with a biro. Thankfully, I mean, I'm quite pleased. Anyway, so I sort of forgot, what I needed, but I went to the post locker. Now, outside Morrison's, they've got this sort of structure, and there must be, I don't know, about 100 boxes or something. And there's a little machine. So you give your phone number. So I've got 2 phone numbers on this phone. I wasn't sure, but I put in what I thought would be my phone number for Shein. And then I was looking for the number, and there was this man, right? And he was on a bench at Morrison's, really close to me, really close, but I needed the machine. So I had to sort of put up with him. And he was really, really disgusting. He was very smelly, and he had a massive weight problem, and he had loads of sort of carrier bags and stuff, and he was kind of phlegming, coughing and phlegming, and it was really putting me off because my autistic, thing sort of went into overdrive, and I was getting really overwhelmed and really anxious. And then he lit a cigarette, and that just did me in, frankly. It just did me in. So I just got in the car, went to Mum's, and on the way back, thought, right, he's gone, I can try again. The proximity, the smell of the smoke, the thought of his phlegming nostrils, just everything had just sent me into some sort of tizzy. But it was all right because Mum gave me coffee. Anyway, so I'm back. It was a heat wave as well. It was very hot. So I'm back at this at the machine, and I'm thinking, right, let's try again. So I found the number that was on the message. I was thinking I'd kept, a huge long number, It's about 20 letters, and I thought, that's going to be really hard to plug in. But, needs a must. I want my Vivienne Westwood. So anyway, it said, I put in a 6-figure number, and it said, incorrect phone number. So I thought, oh, bugger. So had to let a man go on because he was waiting, but that was all right. He was a nice, clean man. And then I just found my other phone number, which I don't know off by heart, had to put that in. Then I had to put the number in. So it's just, you've got to be so organised, guys, to do this stuff. It seems like nothing. It seems like you're just going to go and collect something, but it's not nothing, it's something, because there are different steps that need to be worked through one at a time consecutively in order to achieve your goal, right? So anyway, I did all that, and then this drawer opened, and I was actually I was quite excited at this. I was a little bit thrilled by it. I don't know why, but it made me feel a little twinge of sci-fi energy, which I really enjoyed. And I put my hand in and picked out my tiny little package. And then you go back to the screen and you say, I've shut the drawer. And I've got my package and I've shut the drawer. I think that's what you have to say. Assuming you've actually done that, you do have to do that. And then that's it. So I was rather pleased. Anyway, I got home and I thought, right, let's have a look at this tiny weeny package then, shall we? I paid about 10 quid for it. I think it was 5 something plus a delivery, and clearly from China because it took a long time. And there was Chinese writing on the delivery note, on the label. So I opened it up, and as soon as I opened it, I thought, oh, fake. I knew it was going to be fake. I didn't think it would look that fake. Guys, it looks really fake. However, I think once it's mushed up a bit, and I've had it for years, it'll look less fake. Now, it's got the orb on the front, right? And it's a diamante orb. You get those fake earrings that are just like that. So I'm just going to paint that with some clear nail varnish to make sure the stones don't fall out. And that will last me for, well, probably generations. I'll hand it down to my daughter when I die. She'll love it. And it fits about 6 cards in. So you know what I'm like with fakes, as long as nobody can tell. And I do mix my fakes with my reals. So, I run a vintage store. So I managed to bought a fantastic vintage Vivienne Westwood handbag. Damaged. This is my new thing. I'm getting damaged stuff and I'm repairing it. You get it just so cheap. I nearly got a watch the other day. I was so tempted. A Vivienne Westwood Swatch watch in this beautiful case, which was the orb. And my brother used to mend watches. I thought, I'll ask him. So he said, he looked at it and it was 94 quid, right? Now, my brother thinks 10p's a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? He remembers old money, threepences. So he's younger than me. But he's just that type of person. And because he deals in watches, you see, he buys them really cheap and does them up sort of thing. So he said, well, I wouldn't pay that much. And he looked and he ummed and ahed, and I said, what shall I offer, like 80 or 75? He said, well, I'd be cheeky and offer 50. So I got home and I thought, right, I'm going to offer this dude 50 quid. And it sold. I was absolutely gutted. It was broken, mind. There was a broken piece on it, and he said it wouldn't be repairable. So, I mean, I didn't really mind if it was broken, to be honest. I don't mind broken things. And, I could have worked out how to repair it, because I'm getting a bit nifty at doing repairs now, because that's what I do. So, yeah, that's my my tips of the day for moaning about your deliveries, how to get your deliveries, the excitement of actually having a delivery that arrives in the right place at the right time, and the very slight disappointment about my fake Vivienne Westwood.